right. Good afternoon, or evening, or morning, wherever you are. Today's practice is a practice on flexibility, and we are going to bridge the mind and the emotional body, the mental and emotional body, by using our body. So we're going to think of the container, and if you weren't here last week, for that container, I'm going to expound on it a little bit more. So we're going to be working flexibility of the mental body and the emotional body. So when we think of that, we think of the emotional body as being the way that we see the world through our senses. So we're going to use that, which is our body, to help us with the emotional body. And then breathing will really help us focus our mind on that as well. So we're going to hold that in a container of our own choosing. And what I like to think of this practice as is a big box. The container is a big box, a refrigerator box that kids play in, and they create all kinds of space and routine and fun with that container. So we're going to work with things that give us constraint and things that give us expansion, and we're going to look at that in terms of flexibility within our own container. And your container can be any container you want to make it. That will keep you in the upper and lower limits of your container, and then we'll explore that. We're going to use a strong arm meditation technique, and we're also going to use a flow, and then we're going to use some familiar postures like we did last week that are informed through Ashtanga loosely. And we're going to put that all together, and my wonderful husband's going to play music for us shortly. So, with enough talking, we're going to come up sitting and just relax into the body. Find your comfortable position and bring your attention to the space that you're in. And the container that is your body. And then I want you to feel where you are as you breathe in and out. And that sense that you get is part of your emotional body. If you can tag it with an emotion, and as you do this, you might be scanning your mind. What is it that I'm feeling? What is it that I'm feeling? And your body brings yourself back to your breath. And you bring your focus to the breath as you inhale and exhale. Equalize the breath. Inhale, lengthy 8 count. Retain the breath at the top. And then exhale for a lengthy 8 count. Retain the breath at the bottom. And then you're going to continue that. Inhaling up for 8. Feeling expansive in that breath, holding the breath, holding that expansion. And then exhaling slowly. Letting your body empty of breath and holding that space. And one more time, inhale for 8. And exhale for 8. And then blink the eyes open, and we're just going to begin to rotate around, moving around, inhaling forward, exhaling back, any direction that you wish. If you want to gently close your eyes, you can also practice that breath of 8 count and slowing the movement down, making the breath even. And again, if you're thinking of the container, expand into the container. As you come through the center, you're going to reverse the direction, reverse it. So we're going to be doing some hip openers today. And with hip openers, I like to use props. We're going to take some positions that give us constraints within our container. Standing forward folds that require hamstring flexibility. And that comes with some mental endurance and also some emotional restraint. So within the practice, look for opportunities to expand within that constraint that you're feeling. And then coming to the center here, take the deep breath in, inhale the arms up. Exhale, circle them behind you. Fingertips are going to point away, but you're going to tent your fingers like this. Put a little bit of weight into them. Inhale and lift the heart. Take a couple of deep breaths in here. Feel the expansion in the opening of the chest. Up, inhale. And then exhale. Push it into the back of the heart. One more deep breath in, inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to right yourself and come into the first position. That's my favorite position. So in January's practice, we were doing forward folds, and this is a really good forward fold is a good position to find yourself in and find that expansion within. And it requires flexibility, and you can notice how your flexibility grows each day when you do it. So a forward bend is appropriate. If you want to get into the hips a little bit more, you can also sit on a cushion. You're going to do a triangle. I like to keep a hand's breadth between my feet, and that helps open up my hips a little bit. My knees are gently bent. They're not pulled in really close. This feels really comfortable. You could bolster up. We're going to come down into a forward fold position, and we're going to do the breath from here. So you're going to find where you're comfortable, and the idea is to get the head right between your feet. It's okay if it's not there. And then stretch out the arms a little bit and notice the shoulders in this breath. We're going to take 3 breaths here, and we'll do the same in child's pose as well. 3 long, deep breaths in, 8. Feeling the expansion in the back of the heart. Exhaling for 8. Drawing the belly button towards the spine, maybe sinking a little deeper. As you inhale, come out of this slowly and just note where you felt the expansion and where you felt the restraint. That is a position you can return again and again to and expand within yourself and within your container, and it's safe to do. Just notice the differences. Coming onto the hands and knees for a little cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back, and exhale and round the spine. And again, we're going to play with the personal container here. Having the inhale be the constraint that limits your range of motion. Feel where that feels balanced in your body, where you don't have any feeling of discomfort or imbalance. That is your inhale. And then on your exhale, feel the expansion in the back of the heart. Use the earth to push down. You can tent the fingers in the same way. This also helps kind of hang your head and let your neck release. Inhale to arch. Breathe into that. Exhale to round. Using a really slow breath here to keep the mind focused and counting. We're going to hold the cat with the fingers tented if you can. If not, you just press them gently on the earth and hold here. Find equanimity here and breathe here. Find any restrictions or imbalance or constraints that you might have. I'm feeling a little one in my right shoulder. I'm going to breathe into that, relax my jaw. And then inhaling, coming out, we're going to come into a downward dog. Finding your downward dog, same thing. 3 deep breaths here, 4 and 8 count. A little flow to get us going. Inhale through plank. Lower the knees if you need to. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale through child's pose and linger there for a moment. Settle in just like we did in the forward fold. Find your shoulders and find any restrictions in your shoulders. Soften the elbows a bit so you don't feel that. Find a place where you feel comfortable and balanced. And if that means your hands need to come back, let them come back. Again, coming back onto the hands and knees, take a cat. Lift up into downward dog on the exhale. Come through plank on the inhale and lower down again. Exhale. Inhale through cobra. Exhale through child's pose. And again, linger there. Leave the arms out in front. And feel the stretch in the shoulders. Press the hands into the earth. Draw up through the armpits. Open the heart slightly. Draw the rib cage down the back. Sit the sits bones down. Draw the lower belly in. Relax the neck and jaw. For the next one. I used weights this morning, but you can use blocks, they work the same. I'm putting mine on the lowest setting so my hands can fit all the way on it. Coming up onto my hands and knees, rather than tenting the fingers now, I'm bringing my shoulders up a little bit with the elevation. So I'm going to do a few cat camels here again, remembering the inhale is going to be the constraint. You don't want to arch your back. You want to keep your shoulders, naturally fixed. So inhale. And then exhale again. Here's where the expansion happens. Where can you make it happen in your body safely? Take some deep breaths in this. I have to widen mine so I can get the push up in between. You want your chest in between your arms. Elbows are going to drive back. So you're going to hold that position and then press up. If it feels like a strain on your shoulders, then you bring these in a little closer to you to keep alignment, and the shoulders should feel comfortable, not paying as hard, just challenging. Inhale up. You can also put your knees down if you need to. We're going to do 2 more. And 1 more. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. We're going to bring the blocks in front of us. Place the hands on the floor. Inhale up through cobra, and then exhale onto downward dog. And you're going to grab your blocks and put the hands up on blocks as you sit back. And let the head fall through. If it doesn't, just bring the block to where your foot can rest on the floor. Or you can bring your hands to the floor. Feel your fingers. Push them individually into the blocks or the floor. Tent the fingers. Then relax them, make some fists. Maybe some wrist circles, little ones. And then palms up. And then rock all the way back up. Move the blocks away, and then we're going to do the strong arm meditation. So you want to sit in a comfortable position, and this builds flexibility of the mind, I think. Definitely equalizes your emotions for sure. And if you walked into class feeling, stressed or whatever, you probably don't even feel it now with what we've done so far, because yoga is magic like that. It kind of sits you in yourself. So when you're doing a forward bend, you want to kind of be inside yourself in that space. This one is more of an endurance exercise in your mental capacity, because you can do it, but it gets hard. So we're going to hold the arms out, and they're going to go backwards. And I set the camera up just right because the mudra is the middle finger. So you're going to curl your fingers into your hand and take your thumb across all the fingers except for the middle finger. I know, right? And then you're going to hold your hands out, and you're just going to rotate backwards. And you're going to do this for some time. So I'm going to close my eyes and go inside and just keep rotating. I'm going to focus on the music and my breath. Little circles back. So you bring your mind back to the focus at the matter of hand, which is keeping the mind focused on the breath as you inhale for 8, retain the breath, and exhale for 8. Your senses, your emotions are listening to the music, they're sensing and hearing, and expanding into that space. eyes are closed, looking at the third eye. Sex organs, mula bandha, draw in the lower belly, tilt the chin slightly, hold that breath. Exhale and release it out. Take the hands overhead and shake them without releasing them. Then let the hands rest in the lap. Close your eyes for a moment. We're going to do some neck circles. So we're going to use the nose to draw a circle within our container. So you're going to go straight down, look at the wall of the container. It's like you're up against your container. And you're going to go straight down the container without your head hitting the side. So you have to get far enough away from it to do that. And then as you come there, you're going to shift your head over to the left and draw a big circle on your container. And just continue that in one direction. You can release hold of your attention to the breath and let your mind wander to the circle that you're creating. Let your senses wander to any constraints you may feel within the neck, upper back, heart, hips. Tag that emotion. Recognize it and move in the other direction, slowly drawing that circle with your nose. Mind focused on that circle, smoothing it out, keeping it gentle. Senses looking for any place you might have restriction. Taking the breath there. Chin rest to chest. Take one deep breath in, inhale. Exhale. And then inhale to bring the head up. Now for the flow. So we're going to go into pigeon, and pigeon is not a conductive, productive posture for me. So I change it to meet my knees, which is how this flexibility practice got started. So I'm going to show you the flow first, and it really doesn't have a rule. It's just basically the same flow. I like to put push-ups in it because strength is important and part of flexibility. So we're going to do just the same thing we did before. I like to, when I work out, I put weights underneath me, and I use the weights within the flexibility sequence just to get my body moving. So the hands are going to be flat to begin, and they're about downward dog apart. I'm going to get that nice arch in our back. I'm going to flatten my sacrum and really hold strong. I want to feel equanimity in my hip. I don't want to feel anything on my back. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to round and tuck the toes, push into the toes, and lift up into downward dog and over the heels on the exhale. Inhale, float through a plank, lower the knees, however you need to, lower it down. Inhale up, and exhale back into downward dog. From here, bring your left foot in the center between your hands, and inhale the right leg up. Bend the knee, let it open out, flex and point the toe, roll the ankle. Notice where your shoulder is. Let yourself go in whatever direction feels good. And then we're going to take one giant circle inward. The knee comes down and through, and then back up. And then we're going to go the opposite direction. And I'm keeping my knee bent right now, extending it up towards the ceiling. And we're going to bring it through like we're going to do pigeon. So I'm going to pretend like I'm going to do pigeon, but I'm not. So I'm doing pigeon here, and I want to flex that right foot, but I don't do it because it doesn't feel good to my knees. So I'm going to bring it to goddess pose, because my whole idea is just to open up my left hip and not my right hip. I'm not trying to stretch my right hip because I have piriformis syndrome, so I don't want to go too deep. So I'm going to keep my weight in my left hand. My right leg is forward. I'm just stretching my left hip back and kind of rocking gently, but noticing it's not going into my low back. I'm just rocking to find that place that feels really good. And as I do that, I bring my shoulder up, but I want to drop it back, maybe by bending the elbow, a little strength in there. Oh gosh, I think you feel a nice stretch. If you're in pigeon, you'll feel it in the right hip if you have the right hip forward. And we are going to do a reclining pigeon in just a minute. You can also snake the arm up or back. Which is why props sometimes help. You can bring your hand up on a prop, and usually that will also facilitate a little bit of a stretch and some opening, some expansion in the hip. Lay the hands down, curl the toe back, lift into downward dog. Again, we're going to inhale through plank, exhale to lower down, inhale to lift up, and exhale into child's pose. Stretching the arms out in front, and again, they're not on blocks this time. Head drops in between. See if the shoulders are a little bit more open on this. Go back to that long, deep breath. Inhaling for 8, exhaling. Expand within yourself. Expand within the back of the heart, lower back line of your body. And then inhale back up onto the hands and knees. Again, we're going to do the same thing. So have your block handy for your right arm if you want to use it, or anywhere you want to use it. Again, find equanimity in the hips by drawing the inner thighs together, pushing the knees down. Inhale, slight arch. Exhale, big round. Expanding into the back of the heart, curl the toes back up. Take another deep breath in here. Inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Bring the right foot in between, left foot goes up, floating up. Again, the hip is going to open out. You can rotate the ankle a few times. Sometimes it helps to be up on the toe. That can be an opener for you. Notice if your shoulders are twisting. Mine are. Just notice, not a big deal. Give yourself whatever you need to in this. Feel your container. Let the hip come towards the knee and back up. And the opposite way. Stretch that leg up. And then come through into a pigeon position. Again, not the best position for me. The left foot is going to go by the right wrist. It's going to flex. You can prop up on the rear or not. I'm going to choose to go into goddess pose by rotating so my femur is right over, my bones are right over one another, and I'm giving myself lots of support into my hands. And I'm going to let that right hip drop. And then I'm going to add a little twist, so I'm dropping my belly button over my left thigh. I may snake up the arm a little bit. to feel that length around my right hip without feeling it in my low back. Releasing that out. Coming back into downward dog. Inhale, come through plank. Exhale to the earth. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, child's pose. Again, you're going to take those 8 count breaths here 3 times. Bringing your attention to wherever you feel restraint. Hands come down by the heels and then to the lower back. On the lower back, if you can grab the wrists, go ahead and grab the wrists. If that bothers your neck or shoulders, you're going to just keep the hands where they are. You might be able to grab the elbows, and you might have to come up to grab the elbows, but once you're in that position, it won't be so difficult. And here we're going to breathe into that constraint. We definitely are folding within ourselves, but we have a constraint in our container. So we're going to breathe into that, and we're going to figure out the way that feels good in our container. So I'm bringing my knees together to give me a little more stability in my belly, tucking my nose. Bringing your knees together or in any comfortable seated position. Take 3 breaths here. And then blink the eyes open, and stepping up into a standing position, we're going to be opening up the hips in a standing position and a forward bend, but before we do that, we're going to be lifting up and down and expanding our container a little bit more. So you know how cardboard boxes kind of go sideways, they kind of squish down, and you kind of have to like spread them out after a while. That's what we're doing. So your feet are about hip width apart, wherever is comfortable. We're going to be going up, inhaling, and exhaling down, touching the earth. Inhaling up, and exhaling down. I like to keep my eyes closed, but you can keep your eyes open. Your eyes just travel in the direction of your hands. Everything stays aligned within your container. One more. Inhale up, big stretch, and then exhale. count, and whatever you make out of the steady count is all up to you. It sounds like a 4, so that's pretty good. So I might try to inhale my breath for two or three of those measures, maybe 4. And what we're going for is the minute breath. So, of course, I have never mastered the minute breath, but basically what it is a 15-second inhale, a 15-second hold, a 15-second exhale, and a 15-second retention at the bottom of the breath, which I have not mastered, but I like to do this in measure, so this is a perfect opportunity to do this in measure. So I'm going to inhale, and you're going to pick a personal number. So I usually pick whatever the time of the music is. So if it's like an 8 count, I like a nice steady 8 count, and I usually can make it through a measure, but we're going to try it anyway. So I'll talk through the first one, but don't try to match me. Empty the breath. Start with an inhale, just a normal inhale, and an exhale. Getting here. Inhaling for 8, and exhaling after you retain for 8. At the bottom, you're going to retain the breath. Begin again, inhaling for 8. At the end of the last breath, bring the eyes open again. Take a nice deep breath in, inhale, and exhale. And inhale, and exhale. Coming into that first position where we folded over ourselves, so our feet are in a diamond-like shape. This is a great time to bring props into it if you would like. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale and settle into that space. Fold into yourself. Hands come out. Forehead drops down. Long deep breaths here. When you're ready, take your time, come all the way up to a seated position again. We're going to end the practice. From that seated position, just bring the hands to the heart center. Press gently into the hands, about 15 pounds of pressure, maybe a little bit more. Pressing into the sternum with the thumbs. Tilt the hands about 60 degrees. Draw the shoulders back and down. Lift the heart into the thumbs. Tuck the chin slightly. Draw the belly back. Sit the sits bones into the earth. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. And inhale. Lift the hands to the third eye. Just press gently on the third eye. Push the elbows outward. Pull the shoulders down. Take a breath in here. Bring the hands overhead. Inhale. Circle around. Tent the fingers again. Lift the heart up. Take another breath in here. Inhale. And as you exhale, draw the chin in. Roll down. Using your palms, push against the earth to ground into the earth. As you push yourself back up, give thanks to your body for providing the energy and the container for this practice. Give thanks to your mind for staying focused, and give thanks to your senses for allowing you to experience the world. And give thanks to your husband who's rolling his eyes at me. Mr. Man. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale it out. And for each and all of you, from Fred and me, we wish you many blessings and namaste. Have a great week. Look for a Take 10-2. The music's already on YouTube, and the music is meant to share new music and music that I like, that I do a practice to. I actually uploaded a new Rainbow Girls song because the beat is perfect to practice that breath with. So the 1 minute breath is a really, really great way to expand your awareness of your breath and also the flexibility that you have within your body. So I hope you enjoy it and have a great week. Thank you for joining us. Thanks everybody for coming today.